fifth program in our virtual wellness series. We've had 4 great programs thus far, and we're excited for today's program presented by Heather Gentry, who's going to host a flow and strengthen yoga session. We'll have one more program this coming Thursday. April Luby will present again on stretching for stress relief. That program, like all these, is free, but registration is required. And before I introduce our instructor, just want to remind you that everybody's going to be muted throughout the session. If you have a question, you can either hold it until the end or type it in the chat box, and we'll address those at the end. The program will be recorded and is available through the Bar Association's website. Heather's screen may be the spotlight screen or the only screen you see. If that's not working for you, though, you can select speaker view at the top right-hand corner so that just her screen fills your computer screen. So without further ado, I'm very pleased to introduce Heather Gentry. Heather is my cousin, so I graciously thank her for hosting her virtual yoga session. Heather Gentry was living the hustle and bustle corporate life from Wall Street in New York City, but recently moved back to Baltimore. She continues to be a senior vice president of investor relations at Lexington Realty Trust, which is a REIT in New York City. But she's primarily working remotely here in Baltimore and will travel back up to New York on occasion. However, a couple years ago, Heather decided to pursue something else that would give her more balance in her busy life, and started to embrace yoga and other wellness activities. Heather is a certified 500-hour yoga and meditation teacher. She's currently pursuing her master's degree in yoga therapy at the Maryland University of Integrative Health and will be graduating soon. Heather enjoys sharing her passion of yoga to inspire and empower individuals towards greater health and well-being. She's a frequent instructor at Aluma Yoga, which is in Cockeysville. And her Instagram is hgyoga_well, which I've put in the chats box, so be sure to follow her on Instagram. And with that, I'll be turning things over to Heather. So thank you.
Whoa, well, Bill, that was quite the introduction. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be doing this for you. I've been now teaching this virtual yoga for the last 2.5 months or so, and it seems to be working well. People can do it right from their house. No one needs to be watching them. So it's something nice as opposed to going into the studio. As Bill mentioned, I have worked a corporate job for a long time. I'm still doing that part-time, but this is my profession that I'm moving towards. But what I can say, I can relate to what all of you do on a daily basis, because between the sitting all day, deadlines, long hours, just the stress, I found yoga to be very beneficial in my life, which is really what brought me to moving into that yoga piece of my life and wanting to share that with people. So thanks for coming. Today we're going to be working on some postures, particularly for spinal mobility, hip mobility, shoulder mobility, areas that tend to get really tense, tight, weak when we sit a lot. We're also going to be doing some gentle flow. It's not going to be really fast, but something to get the blood flowing, things that you can do just sort of on your own during the day. This is a perfect time. It's like a midday slump. So some of these to get the blood flowing. So again, when you're sitting a lot. And then we'll just be doing a breathing exercise. We'll be doing a mindfulness exercise at the end of the practice that will help with relaxation, and it's going to help with focus, clarity, and concentration. So without further ado, I will get started. I'm going to come back to my mat, and all of you, if you have a mat or you're using the carpet, anything will do. I did mention we don't need props, but if you have a blanket, just a blanket from your couch, you can have that, and you would want to fold it long ways so that you just have a nice little, almost like a pillow. So you can also use a cushion, you can use a pillow from your bed, but just something. We're not going to use it quite yet, but we will in a moment. So when you are ready, come down to your mats or to the floor, lying down. If that doesn't work for you, lying down doesn't work for you, feel free to stay seated. Feel free to be in a chair, just as long as you're in a more of a reclined position. And then once you're down on your mat, lying down, the knees are going to be bent. The feet are going to be as wide as the mat or wider than hip distance apart, and you're going to bring the knees into touch. Arms down along your sides, or if you want to place them somewhere on the body, if that feels comfortable for you. You can close the eyes, or you can take the gaze up towards the ceiling, if that feels comfortable. And then just start to let yourself arrive in this space. Maybe this is the first time all day that you have taken a break for yourself. So really see if you can come into the physical body, into this physical space, cultivating that presence of mind. Take a quick body scan from the crown of your head all the way to your feet. Just noticing if there's any particular areas of expansiveness, of tightness, of tension. Don't try to change it, just notice it. Begin to bring notice to different sounds that are around you or in your periphery. And now start to tap in and see if there are any internal sounds that you might be able to hear. If you don't, that's okay, but just see, maybe you can hear your heart beating, maybe you can feel your heart beating, your belly growling, a sensation in the foot or in the hand. Just start to notice. Bring your attention now to your breath. Without changing it, just notice the quality. Is it short? Is it expansive? Is it ragged? Notice the cool air coming into the nostrils on your inhale, and the warmer air leaving the nostrils on the exhale. Now bring both hands to your belly. And again here, without changing the breath, just start to notice, feel the hands move up as you inhale. So the belly expands, fills up with air. And then as you exhale your hands, your belly recede back down into the mat. Again, draw your breath deep into the belly. Exhale as you release. Maybe open the mouth, letting sound or whatever needs to come out. One more big breath like that, filling up the belly. Hands are moving up and away from the body. And then exhale, release, belly, hands move back down. Now bring both hands to the sides of the ribs. So one hand to each side of the ribs. And on your next inhale, feel the ribs expand out to the sides. So filling the breath in the rib area, and then exhale as the ribs retract back in towards the body. Again, nice inhale, filling up the ribs, feeling them expand from side to side. Exhale as you release back in. One more nice big breath, just like that, feeling the ribs expand from side to side. Exhale as you release. Now bring your hands up to the collarbones or the tops of the chest. On your next inhale, breathe into the collarbones. Feel the collarbones, the chest expand with air. Exhale as you release. Again, big breath in, filling up the collarbones. Maybe the hands move a little bit. Exhale as you release. And then one more big breath, just like that, filling up the collarbones with air, with breath. Exhale as you release. And now option to bring your hands down along your sides or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And just see if you can take a few rounds of that breath, thinking about filling up the belly, the ribs, the collarbones on the inhale. So really utilizing the full torso for the breath. And then exhaling as you release. This is called three-part breathing. Helps us to engage the whole torso, the diaphragm. Again, fill up the belly, expand the ribs, collarbone lifts. Exhale, release. Take 2 more rounds of breath on your own. Now just take a moment before we start our practice today to notice what effects that breathing exercise might have had on the body. Was there one particular area that felt easier, that felt harder to breathe into? Just starting to become more aware, right, of how we breathe, making sure that we're utilizing all the space that we need. And now if the eyes are closed, you can crack open your eyes. You can take some wrist circles with the wrists. You can bring the knees open, draw your knees in towards your chest, bringing your hands around the backs of your thighs or onto the shins. And then take some ankle circles here. One way and then the opposite way. Rock from side to side, feeling the whole back body. If there's a particular area of tension or tightness, you may want to stay there, acting almost as if this was like a little self-massage. Step the feet back onto the mat, let the legs come out long on the mat, draw your arms up and over your head. And just start to take a stretch here like you would in the morning. So as your right arm lengthens, your right leg lengthens, and then as you exhale or inhale, whichever cycle you're on, the left arm lengthens, the left leg lengthens. It's almost as if they're moving away from one another. And just take a few of those. And then come back through center. Send both of your feet over towards the right side of your mat or the carpet. And then now bring both of the arms more over to the right side of your mat. So you're in sort of what we would call, it looks like a banana shape. Lengthen through the left fingertips, lengthen through the left toes. You should be able to feel a really nice stretch around that whole left side of the body. Relax that left shoulder. And then inhale, come back through center. Walk both feet this time over to the left side of your mat. Both the arms move over to the left side of the mat. Again, you're in this C curve or this banana shape. Lengthen fingertips away from toes to feel, again, this whole really nice stretch in that right side of the body. Soften the belly, relax that right shoulder down. Come back through center. Bring your arms back up overhead and down along your sides. Step the soles of your feet back onto the mat. Knees are bent. Draw just your right knee in towards your chest. Bring your hand around the backs of your thigh again and just start to bend and straighten any amount that right leg. The heel is pressing up towards the ceiling. Again, if the hamstrings are tight, it might be hard here to straighten that leg. That's okay. But just start to take some dynamic movement with that leg to bring some blood flow there. And then draw your right ankle on top of your left knee. Use your right hand to gently press into the top of the inner thigh. Flex through those right toes, creating space right in that front hip. And this might be enough. If not, you can draw your left knee in towards your chest, bringing your hands around the back of your left thigh, flexing through both feet. If you're here, that right elbow might actually be able to press into that right leg for a little more stretch as the left knee draws closer into the body. Relax the shoulders down the back. Another big, nice inhale through your nose here. Exhale as you release. If that left leg is up, bring it back down to the floor. Step your right foot back down onto the mat. Draw your left knee in towards your chest, bringing your hand around the back of the thigh. And again, start to bend and straighten through that left leg. Sending the heel up towards the ceiling. Any amount. And now send your left ankle over your right knee. First, again, just taking that left hand and gently pressing to the top of the inner thigh to create, again, some space right in that hip joint. An option to stay here, draw the right knee in towards your chest, bringing your hands around the back of your right thigh. And notice this side might be different. This side, my elbow doesn't even want to get close to my left leg. So just notice little things like that. The body is asymmetrical. You can even take that left hand and gently bring it away from the leg, letting it press into that right knee, or that left knee, excuse me. One more big, deep inhale here. Exhale as you relax the shoulders. Bring your right foot down to the mat. Step your left foot down onto the mat. One more time, draw the knees in towards your chest. Rock from side to side. And then roll onto your right or your left side. We're gonna come up to seated. So just be mindful when you get up. You've been down for a while. You might feel a little bit dizzy when you come up. So just take care. And then I am going to sit on a blanket for this seated position. If you have a blanket or a pillow, it's nice. We're gonna bring our legs into a cross-legged position. So I'll give you a moment to get there. And just this is even nice for when you're sitting in your chair at work. When you are able to bring the hips above the knees, it starts to take some of the pressure out of our low back. So I like to roll a blanket on my chair for work and actually sit on it so that my hips have a little less contraction that puts some strain on my low back. So once you're there, just let the eyes close for a moment. Sit up tall, lengthen through the crown of your head. spread across the whole front of the body, the collarbones. And then you can bring the eyes to open. Slowly send your chin down towards the floor. And then gently roll your neck, your head over to the right side. You can take that right hand and just gently bring it to the top of the head, maybe bringing a little bit more stretch through that right side of the body. You can let that left arm sort of dangle, let it get heavy. Gently guide the head, the chin down towards the floor. And then slowly bring the head, the chin up, just gently gazing towards the ceiling. Come back down through center, release the hand. This time send the neck over, the head over towards the right side or the left side. And then take that left hand, just bring it to the top of the head and gently, maybe you find a little bit more stretch. Let that right arm hang heavy. And then slowly take your chin, your head down towards the floor. You'll feel that stretch in the back of the neck. And then inhale as you send the chin, your head up to gaze towards the ceiling. And then come back down. Release the head back through center, release the arm. Starting with the right shoulder, we're gonna take the right shoulder up towards the ear. And then we're just gonna drop it straight down, letting it depress past the shoulder head. Again, we're gonna send the shoulder up towards the ear, that right shoulder, and then back down. One more time, send the shoulder up towards the ear and back down. This time, send the right shoulder forward. So just roll that right shoulder forward. We're just targeting the shoulder joint right here. And then slowly send that shoulder back. 2 more times like that. Inhale as the shoulder moves forward. You can even bring your fingertips to the floor, and then exhale, let the shoulder come back. One more time, inhale. Exhale, send it back. And then let's put all that together. So we're gonna send the shoulder up towards the ear, back behind us, down and forward. So just taking some really nice, gentle shoulder rolls here. It's more effective when you can target just the one shoulder. And then if you'd like, you can take some in the opposite direction. And then you can let that go, and let's do the left side. So left side, you're gonna send your shoulder up towards your ear, relax the neck, and then exhale as it depresses down. Inhale. Exhale, bring it down. One more time, sending the shoulder up towards the ear. Exhale as it moves down. Bring it back through center. And then I'll draw that shoulder forward and then back behind you. 2 more times, forward and then back. Forward and then back. And then bring it back to that center starting point, and let's put it all together. We're gonna send it up, back behind us, down and forward. Right, so this really gentle undulating move. And then you can take it the opposite way. And then bring it back through center. Switch the cross of your legs. So we're gonna cross shin to shin or ankle to ankle, whichever is more comfortable for you. Bring your palms onto your knees. Again, sit up tall, lengthen through the crown of your head. And on inhale, your arms are gonna move back towards you as your chest expands and lifts open. And then as you exhale, your arms move forward. You're gonna round through the back. You can even sit back a little. Inhale as you lengthen, arms move back, tailbone arches, chest opens. Exhale, arms move forward, rounding through your back, sending the gaze towards the floor. Take a few rounds of these, inhaling as the chest moves forward, gaze maybe slightly up. Exhale as you round through the back, send the gaze towards the feet. You might even like here to let the eyes close, just focusing on the breath with the movement. One of the most effective things that I have found in my yoga practice is always coming back to that breath. Whether I'm stressed or feeling anxious, my mind starts to wander. When we bring ourselves back to our breath, we're bringing ourselves back to the present. Just one more time here, feeling the chest expand open. Exhale, send the chest back, arms move forward, and then come back through center. All right, so we're gonna come now on to all fours or a tabletop position. If you do tend to have sensitive knees and you have that blanket, you might want to put that blanket down onto your mat. I like to use it. And then once you're there, if you're using that blanket or you're not, wherever you are, you're going to see that your shoulders are lined up over your wrists and that your hips are lined up over your knees. So just give a quick look back to see that that all works. If you are working with any wrist issues, you can always come down onto your forearms here. Or you can roll up your mat to create a little extra padding for your wrists. Or even just sending them slightly forward if that feels better. We're going to take the right leg up towards the chest and then around. So we're just taking some hip circles here with that left leg for that hip mobility. Again, we all sit a lot and the hips get weak, they get tight. And then now take it the opposite way. And then bring that knee back down and let's take the right side. Taking it one way, and again, this doesn't have to look any particular way. It's just about feeling good, making the body feel good, or waking up the body, if you will. And then bring it down. Staying in that same tabletop position, you're going to draw the belly up a little into the back body, and then you're going to send your right leg back on the mat. You're on the ball of your foot. Your other foot is tucked, and just start to shift forward and back. So start to shift the weight forward. Your shoulders are going to come over your wrists, and you should start feeling, when you come back, you should start to feel a nice stretch through the calf. And the next time you're shifted back, stay there for a moment. Lengthen the heel towards the back of the mat. Draw the belly in and up. Press into the floor so you're not dumping into the chest. And then come back through center. Keep that leg back behind you. Untuck the left toe. Draw your right leg up and back behind you. So just about to hip height. If you need to see what that looks like, you can look up at me. Draw the belly up into the chest. Press into the hands. Gaze is forward. Neck is long. Turn all 5 toes down towards the floor. Keep lifting that hip up. You can stay here. Maybe you want to bring your left arm alongside of your bicep, adding in a little bit of a balance challenge. Lengthen through the fingertips, lengthen through the toes. One more big breath here. Exhale, release everything back down to the mat. Sit back on your heels just a little bit. Bring your elbows down to the mat and just roll out your wrists here. And then come back up onto the all fours. This time send your left leg long back on the mat. You're on the ball of that foot. And start to shift your weight forward and back. And the next time that that leg or that heel is lengthened back, stay for a moment. Feel the sensation of that calf stretch. Press the hands into the mat, lift up through the chest. And then come back through center. Send your left leg up, back behind you, just to hip height. Roll that left hip down. Those toes are going to want to try to turn out. That's that infamous gluteus muscle. Lengthen the toes down towards the floor. Press the hands, sending the chest up towards the ceiling. Option to stay here. Draw your right arm alongside of your right ear. Lengthen through your fingertips. Lengthen through your toes. Lift the belly up. 2 more big breaths here. Exhale, release everything down to the mat. Bring the big toes to touch. You can widen the knees, and then you're gonna sit your hips back, finding child's pose. If it is a lot to get the hips back, you can take your hands and make fists. And just bring your head to your fists, so your hips are gonna be up a little bit. But take a moment here, come back to that breath. As you inhale, feel your whole back body expand open with breath. And exhale as it releases. Again, big inhale. Exhale, release. Come back up onto all fours. Bring the knees back in to hip distance apart. Sit up on the knees. Draw your right foot out in front of you. And then just come up to stand. So we're gonna do just a couple things standing before we come back down. So you're gonna make your way to the front of your mat or wherever you are on the carpet, wherever you can see me. Your feet are going to be hip distance or slightly more than hip distance or hip width apart. Arms down along your side. Allow your eyes to close here or take the gaze forward and down. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Feel your whole belly expand. Use that breath from the beginning of practice to fill up. And then this time, exhale with an open mouth. Release, let it go. Nice big, another big breath in, filling up belly, ribs, chest. Exhale with an open mouth. Release, let it go, make sound. You're by yourself, maybe. One more big breath in, just like that. Exhale. Release, let it go. Inhale, draw your arms out and up over your head. And then hook elbows. So they might not completely get to the elbows, but that's okay. You can grab for those forearms. Press into the feet as you lengthen through the crown of your head. Release the shoulders down the back. Think about just lengthening that tricep, the upper arm. And then exhale as you lean over to your right side. Press that left hip out. Lengthen in the inhale. And then come back through center, leaning over to your left side. So think about that right hip is moving out. You're firming up that left hip. Maybe the gaze is up towards the ceiling. Inhale as you come back through center, release the arms back down along your sides. This time, inhale, your arms move up and overhead. Exhale as you twist over to the right, your arms just come down along your sides. Maybe your left arm finds your right hip. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale as you twist just the torso over to the left side. That right hand finds the right hip. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, twisting to your right. Inhale, come back through center, pressing into the feet, lengthen through the fingertips. Exhale, leaning over to your left. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale as you twist to the right. Inhale, arms move up. Exhale as you lean to the left. Inhale, your arms move up this time. Lengthen the fingertips up, press into the feet. Bring your right arm down along your side. Lengthen through those left fingertips. Exhale as you lean to your right. Lengthen those right fingertips down to the floor. Inhale, come back through center, both arms up overhead. Opposite arm comes down, fingers come down towards the floor. Inhale as you lengthen, stand up tall. Exhale as you lean over to your left. So almost like a piece of taffy, you're lengthening opposite ends through your fingertips. And then inhale, come back through center. Bring your arms down along your sides. Put a little bend in the knee. On an inhale, we're just gonna start to fold over our legs. We're gonna hinge from those hip joints or those hip points right over our legs. You don't need to go down very far. Let the arms dangle, let the head dangle. Press into the feet. Maybe if you feel balanced, you can sway the hips around a little bit. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time, start to roll yourself all the way up to stand. And then we're gonna do that one more time. So inhale as you lengthen from those hip points, long spine, moving down towards the floor. Again, you don't need to come down very far, but let the arms hang, let the head hang. Anytime we bring the head below our heart, this helps to calm the nervous system, activate that part of our nervous system that's responsible for rest and digest. Maybe grab opposite elbows here, swaying. And then bend the knees a lot. Bring your hands down to the floor. Step your right leg back. Bring your right knee down to the floor. Step your left leg long back. Bring your knee down to the floor. We're going to do one plank before we start to wind down. Your option is to stay on your knees, pressing through your hands, drawing that belly up into the spine. This is really great here. Or if you're looking for that extra challenge, you tuck your toes, you lift your knees up off of the floor, finding that full plank pose. Press into the hands, relax that neck, breathe, lengthen through your toes, lengthen through the crown of your head. One more big breath here. Exhale, draw your knees to the floor. Come to sit on your side, and then onto your booty, legs long. And you can choose here to either keep the knees bent. We're gonna roll down, slow, 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 working on that core, or you can keep the legs long and straight. Your choice. Arms are long out in front of you. And then one vertebrae at a time, super slow. We're just gonna start to come all the way down to lie on our backs. You're going to keep that belly pressing into that back body. This becomes a little less challenging with the knees bent. Both are perfect for what works for you. And then you're going to hold right before you come down. Press the belly into the floor. Exhale, release everything down to the mat. Gently pick your hips up and then scoot them a little over to the left side so you're on sort of this angle. Let both of your knees come down to the right side of your mat for a spinal twist. Arms can be in a T shape or you can cactus out those arms. Taking a moment here to wind down, release across the front of the body. If you feel a lot of pressure in between the knees or the low back, you can always bring a fist, your right fist in between your knees. And then come back through center. Soles of the feet back on the mat. Again, just pick your hips up a little bit, scoot them over towards actually the right side. I might have said the left side before, but you got the gist. And then let both of those knees fall over to the left side of your mat. Arms long, or in that cactus shape. Or you can always bring that right hand to your right hip if that one shoulder doesn't quite want to get down to the floor. Come back through center. And then we're just going to do one quick relaxation exercise before finishing up today. Let everything be long on the mat. Your arms are out along your sides. Let the feet flop open to really see what tension that you can release. Close the eyes. We're going to move through a mini progressive muscle relaxation meditation. So starting with the forehead, the nose, the jaw, scrunch everything up, the ears, almost as if you were making like a mean face. Bring a lot of tension into the face. Don't forget to breathe though, but keep everything really tense and tight. Try to relax the other parts of the body, just the face, the forehead, the jaw. And then exhale, release, let everything go in the face. Now coming down to the neck, the upper part of the chest, the shoulders, clench everything up. Really, really tight. Clench it up, clench it up. And then exhale, release everything down to the mat. Right arm, make a fist. Forearm, bicep, everything clenches tight. Just the arm. And then exhale, release. Left hand clenches, forearm clenches, bicep clenches. Just the arm. Exhale, release. Whole right leg up from the hip all the way down to the toes. Tense up that whole right leg. Even that right side of the belly. Exhale, release. Left hip all the way down to the toes. Left side of the belly. Tense it all up, curl up those toes. Exhale, release. And now one last thing, tense up the entire body. Make those fists, scrunch up that forehead, the jaw, the toes, the belly, the chest, the shoulders, like you're one big, tight, tense ball. And then exhale, you have the choice to release, let everything go. Just taking a few moments here to notice the effects. Maybe you want to stay these last minutes in just your final relaxation. And then at your own pace, you bring the soles of the feet onto the mat. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself one final roll from side to side. Rolling yourself up to your right or your left side, gently making yourself up into a seated position. We will only be here for a moment. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. Take a big deep inhale through your nose. Eyes are closed or gazing down and forward. Exhale, open mouth. Release. Thanks, everyone. That was it. If you have any questions, looks like some people dropped off. Maybe not. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I can unmute or you can unmute.
Well, Heather, thank you very much. I thought it was a great session. Really appreciate it. Let's see.
Great. Well, thank you.
There's no questions in the chat box, but everybody's thanking you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. This is great. I hope you feel a little more stretched, a little more relaxed.
Oh, great. Well, I guess, Rachel, with that, we can end things. Thanks again, Heather.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Heather.
Bye. Thanks.